It has been a while since we have ranked all the evolutions for a Digi-Egg and Crest, and so today, because I'm feeling courageous, I'm going to be ranking every Crest of Courage Digivolution. What is up, everybody, and yes, we are ranking the Crest of Courage evolutions today, and it feels like so long since I last ranked evolutions. As always, if you like these videos, please do like and subscribe. It helps immensely. I'm doing a big giveaway if we hit 20,000 subscribers, as well as a bunch of other cool for the community. And before we get started, I do want to say that this video is once again sponsored by Buyee. Shoutouts to Buyee, they're incredibly supportive of the channel. They're how I bought my, oh shoot, Imperialdramon's Digivolving. They're also how I bought my VB. Buyee is how I got all three of these V-Pets, and these two on the left I bought with my own money, not part of a brand deal, because I actually like and trust Buyee. But if you're not familiar by now, Buyee is the amazing proxy service which gives you access to items from Japan. Whether it's Mercari, Rakuten, Yahoo Japan Auctions and Shopping, Amazon JP, or a ton more of Japanese websites, Buyee is the one for you. They make it super easy to buy, get shipped out to your own virtual warehouse, and then shipped out within 30 days at your own discretion, as well as offering services like extra protective packaging and consolidated shipping. And of course there has to be a kickback for my audience, so as always, if you use the link in my description, go to Buyee. First time signups get 2,000 yen, that's $20 US roughly, off their first purchase with Buyee. Genuinely, if you're looking to buy stuff from Japan, I can't recommend Buyee enough. They've been super supportive of the channel, really good with my audience, and have gotten me things that I legitimately love. So check out that link, show some love to Buyee, and get yourself a bargain. Let's continue with the video. Alright, so Crest of Courage evolution. So I'm going to put some things up on Main Street. Obviously, we're going to be doing all of Ty's Digivolutions. Obviously, we're going to do all the Crest of Courage armor evolutions, and we're going to do the Veemon line that pertains specifically to Davis. Not going to be covering anything like Zero Maru from V-Tamer, because there's no demonstration that Taichi in V-Tamer has the Crest of Courage. There's no crest. There's like tags for sure, but they're very different. They're more like gym badges from Pokemon. So I'm not going to cover Zero Maru or any of his evolutions. I'm just going to be covering Davis's partner Veemon. You can make the argument that that's also a friendship evo, but Veemon is unsealed from the Digi-Egg of Courage, not the Digi-Egg of Friendship, so I really think that line is more closely tied to Courage, with Friendship as kind of a secondary element, so I won't rank Veemon again when we get to Crest of Friendship evolution ranked. We did rank Imperialdramon last time when we did Crest of Kindness, but the ranking will probably be different this time because it's pertaining to the Crest of Courage and Davis and Veemon. Also, I'm not going to be covering Marcus or Masaru from Digimon Savers or Data Squad. His Shine Greymon does have references to the Crest of Courage, but that's about it. It's just a reference. Alright, so here is the tier list. It's all a little bit out of whack, but we're going to start with Agumon. Agumon, I love Agumon. Agumon is an OG rookie. Talked about this a lot. I love him as a partner for Taichi. I will say, however, he's never been my absolute favorite. When I played Digimon World 1 as a kid, I always tried to get Gabumon rather than Agumon. Always kind of been more of a Gabumon guy. Gabumon, which may explain my current dress sense and hairstyle choices. But I think it's really hard to say there's anything wrong with Agumon, so we're going to put him in A. Next up is Greymon, and I feel very similarly about Greymon as I do Agumon. It's an OG, it's a good champion, it's really solid, but not one that I find myself gravitating towards. He's fine, you know, like he's not standing out to me, but he's certainly not bad. However, I think honestly I like him less than I like some other Greymons. And also, I mean, if we're talking about Crest of Courage, obviously the champions don't really factor into the crests that much, but if we're just ranking it, you know, as part of Ty's partner's evolution, it's fine. It's like a B for me. I'd love to put it higher, but I just, you know, Agumon's stretching it for A tier for me. And then is Ty's Metal Greymon, and I really like the Metal Greymon design. I like the fact that in the lore it takes on elements of Machinedramon. I had a toy when I was a kid that was a Greymon that could transform into a Metal Greymon. I used to love putting the metal arm on and the chest pieces, plus it's got titty torpedoes. I'm trying to streamline these tier lists a bit because I have a tendency to rabbit, and honestly I think Titty Tornadoes just earns him an A. Now interestingly, you may have noticed looking at this that I do also have the Virus Metal Greymon, and that is because in Digimon Adventure 02, when the Digimon Emperor takes control of Ty's Agumon, he forces it to digivolve to like the Virus Metal Greymon. So we have Skull Greymon and the Virus Metal Greymon here. Now, Virus Metal Greymon I prefer to regular Metal Greymon. I love its card in the Digimon card game, especially the alt art that looks like the OG. I much prefer this design of Metal Metal Greymon, but I understand why they changed it to Pumpkin Metal Greymon. I also like that in terms of courage and Tai, it does hark back to Skull Greymon when Tai was forcing that evolution, and we'll get to Skull Greymon in just a second. And one of my favorite parts of 02 is that they did fold in this original Metal Greymon as a kind of nod to Metal Greymon's origins. I think it's really strong. It's like almost an S tier for me, but there's some things on this list which are definitely S tier. So we are going to put the Virus Metal Greymon at a high A, above Agumon. Way above Agumon. And then is Skull Greymon. And I think even if you're not a big adventure head, if you're a bit sick of adventure, I think Skull Greymon's whole sort of episode focus, or episodes focus, was something so cool to me as a kid. And rewatching Adventure as an adult, it didn't go on for as long as I thought it did. But in my head as a kid, it's setting this precedent that, oh my god, evolution can go wrong. Dark Digivolution can happen with good people. Tai determined with his Crest of Courage to digivolve Greymon further, but pushing him too far in the wrong way. And I'll be honest, it set up a big precedent for me that I was always kind of scared a little bit as a kid after Skull Greymon whenever Agumon would digivolve, because I was like, what if it becomes Skull Greymon again? The design's a little bit basic, but also I kind of adore it, and I said before, I love Skull Digimon. We've got Skull Greymon, Skull Belluchimon, Skull Meramon. I've always liked the idea of kind of like decayed, sort of withered away versions of Digimon that you know and love. To see a bone version, a Skelly Bob version of Greymon and Metal Greymon is incredibly scary to me. I also like how it has the projectile in its back rather than the titty cannons, because it's got no titties. Skull Greymon, I think, in design, in how it makes me feel like fear, and how it ties into Tai and his crest and his yearning and his desire to be stronger, to sort of save the day and to make things right, ultimately resulting in this kind of impure, corrupted evolution, is such a good piece of storytelling. My first S of the video, guys. S for Skull Greymon. Then we got Ultras Mode. I really like Ultras Mode and Sagittarius Mode. I like what they did for this show. By the way, for the rest of the video, full spoilers for Digimon Adventure 2020 and Kizuna. It's just easier to say that than putting timestamps everywhere and people getting piecemeal of the video, but it's not going to be massive spoilers. I'm not going to spoil if people die or anything like that. I'm just spoiling evolutions. So Ultras Mode I like. I like the idea that they took from the X antibody. I'm not going to be ranking the X antibody because Tai's Metal Greymon never became the X antibody version. I thought it was a really interesting plot line, but I don't know how much it actually added to the overall story of Tai in Digimon Adventure 2020. It was definitely shocking to see a mode change from Metal Greymon, and I like the way it functions, but I don't know if I'd say I really like it more than Metal Greymon. It's fun in the card game, but again, that's kind of an outside factor to the story of Adventure 2020. I'm gonna put it at A alongside Metal Greymon, A for Ultras Mode, simply because I don't think it's better or worse than Metal Greymon, and sometimes I do kind of prefer it, so we're just gonna put it right next to Metal Greymon. The X Antibody War Greymon is on this list, but we're gonna ignore it because it shouldn't be on this list. Tai's never became an X Antibody Digimon, I don't know why it's there. But next up is War Greymon, and it's one of my favorite megas in the entire franchise. I think it is super solid. All of its evolution sequences back in the day, most recently in movies and stuff, are always super solid. I love the Crest of Courage in the original animation, spinning and appearing on the back of its shield and then opening up. The Warp Digivolution animation is also fantastic. Obviously, it is one of the big examples of the Crest of Courage, and eventually it ties into Omnimon, which is the meeting of the middle of Tai's courage and Matt's friendship, and I just think it's a tremendous design. It's very simplistic. I really love it, and I'd be hard pressed to say that there's anything that I think I could do to improve it. The only thing I can really think of is in terms of plot, I wish that it had more. But as it is, with the design being phenomenal, and I love the plot line, War Greymon is my second S. Black War Greymon, I am gonna rank it. It's not Tai's partner, but it is in adventure, and I always felt like, again, that Black War Greymon and Tai's Agumon/War Greymon really resonated with each other. I'm not gonna speak too much on this. It's a great design. I love its plotline. You can argue in the comments as to whether I should have put it on the ranking, but just let me have this one. It's an S tier. It's an S tier. It's phenomenal. Maybe I just love edgy Digimon. Bugs and edginess. That's me. Crawling in my skin. And then next up is the other mega variant of War Greymon, which thanks to Digimon Adventure 2020, we can now put on this list, and that is Blitz Greymon. I love the idea that they took with Blitz Greymon and Crest Garurumon of inverting the themes, not necessarily all the themes, but the fact that War Greymon is very sword heavy, especially when we get to Omnimon, and the Metal Garurumon was very gun heavy, and they just flipped that one concept, giving the Metal Garurumon alter swords and giving the War Greymon alter guns, and it works so well. Blitz Greymon is so sleek. My only real detractor is I wish that we got a full line like the Geo Greymon Rise Greymon Veemon Line for Blitz Greymon. I'd love to see a Blitz Agumon Line. But it is now canonically part of Tai's evolution, and so in some respect resonates with the Crest of Courage. People say in these videos, oh, well, it's only the ultimates or whatever that are actually Crest evolutions. And it's like, kind of, yeah, but I mean, especially in Digimon Adventure 2020, those Crests are lighting up for pretty much every Digivolution, so they're all Crest evolutions as far as I'm concerned now. Anyway, Blitz Greymon fucks. I love it. Come to these videos for eloquence, man. It fucks. I love it. Karn McLeod 2021. It's an S tier, man. What can I say? They're good. It's good. Next up is Agumon Bond of Courage. Sono chino sadame. Man, I don't know. I was so excited for Last Evolution Kizuna. I really liked the movie. I liked it a ton. People seem to think that I don't like it. I really like Last Evolution Kizuna. I don't care that it like contradicts or whatever. I thought it was better than Try. I was very excited that we were going to get new evolutions for Agumon and Gabumon. I thought they might be biomerge Digivolutions like in Tamers, and I've had people tell me, oh, well, biomerge is a thing exclusive to Tamers. Why? Because it's only ever been in Tamers? Okay. You know, writers can just write anything they want. I certainly don't hate them. I think I probably slightly prefer Gabumon Bond of Friendship to Agumon Bond of Courage, but they just don't scream Last Evolution to me. I don't know what would. Probably not a new Omnimon. I know people are sick of Omnimon, but it just felt a little off and weird, and it didn't feel any of them like they were stronger than even like War Greymon and Metal Garurumon. I didn't get the sense of increased power, just a different evolution. And sure, maybe that's because they literally couldn't achieve any evolution, so this was like a side thing. But then narratively, it's like, oh, the best you can do in your final outing is something not as good as things you've already had. Again, there's a ton of lore reasons and a ton of plot reasons why they're the way they are, but I just think I would have preferred them if they were biomerge, had slightly different designs, and ultimately were more impressive. I'm gonna put it at C. I'm sorry, this opinion may change over time. I'm sorry. All right, let's go into something less controversial. Why are the X antibodies on this list? What, was I drunk when I made this? Why is there 2 X antibodies here? Ignore those, they're not real. Anyway, moving on to something a little bit less controversial, possibly, is Omnimon. Our wargame is iconic to me. Watching the segment of our wargame in the Digimon movie when I was a kid, watching our wargame as an adult, it's probably my favorite Digimon movie. It's this lovely little microcosm of all the things I like. A classic look anime that still feels kind of retro almost. It's not quite as kind of like retro feeling as the 80s anime and like Evangelion and stuff, but it still has a lot of like kind of like retro anime charm. And I just love the forming of Omnimon or Omegamon. It is truly amazing, like emotional when Tai and Matt go into the internet. The design is classic. The only thing is, I'm a bit sick of it. And I think Adventure 2020's overuse of it in the early days and then never using it since has kind of soured it a little bit. I'm a little bit bored of seeing Omnimon, but I still think it's an absolutely phenomenal design. And yeah, you know, you have the most delicious food in the world. If you have it over and over again, you're gonna get sick of it, but it doesn't mean that the food isn't still delicious. Do you get what I'm saying? So, while I am a little bit bored of it, it's still a fucking goat, and it is bordering on S tier. But Omnimon gets the A. The highest A I'm probably going to give this whole video, alright? And speaking of Omnimon, next up we have Omnimon Ultra S. Now, Karn, we've got no showings of Tai's Digimon becoming Ultra S yet as of time of recording. Well, to you I say, where's it gone? The Digivice 2020. Yes, in the Digivice 2020, as part of the kind of story mode within the Digivice, it does look like at some point in this anime, as we've had Blitz Greymon and Crest Garurumon, Omnimon Ultra S is going to show up, possibly for the final battle. It would make a ton of sense. How do you go one up from Omnimon and you do Ultra S? So I'm willing to be proven wrong. I'm not taking it as gospel, but if it happens, you know, I called it. I'm gonna rank it anyway because we've ranked Crest Garurumon and Blitz Greymon. You've seen my video about Digimon fusions and Jogresses, right? Do I need to say anything more? Should I just put it in S tier and then we're all good? Yeah, okay, moving on. Now you know I don't like Try.
Let's get him, Philly.
I'm not trying to start any fights, but I don't like Try. Did I think the whole moment with Merciful Mode was cool? The concept of all the Digimon combining into one to become Merciful Mode? Yes. Do I think the design is anything but a glorified Omnimon with wings? No. You guys know I love my Megazord idea, right? The Omnimon Megazord that can throw arms off and get new arms based on all of the mega forms of all of the Adventure Kids. I thought it was finally happening with Try. I thought Try might redeem itself a little bit in my eyes. Again, sorry if you like Try. I'm not trying to hate the thing you like. I just don't like it. I'm sorry. And instead we just get fucking Omnimon perfect mode, basically. Omnimon merciful mode, just has angel wings. Oh, cool. It's like fine, but I don't get the hype. I don't understand why people like it. Do people like it? But regardless, I just thought the plot moment was really good, but the actual form was such a letdown. Again, it kind of loses a lot of its identity of courage, especially if we're ranking courage evolutions, because like it's just all white. I'm putting it in C with Bonds, man. Honestly, the movie exclusive forms for the past 2 movies, although Try was like 6 movies, have not been great for me. Oh shoot, I forgot the in-training forms. Bottomon, B for based, Koromon, B for based. All right, let's jump into the armors. And we have Alomon. I've softened on Alomon. I used to really not like it, but I think I like it a lot more now. The reason for that is that as it is Hawkmon with the Crest of Courage, I really appreciate what they did there, taking a bird, giving it dinosaur and flame elements, which means it becomes a dinosaur with a lot of Native American inspiration, obviously because birds are descendants of dinosaurs. So while yeah, it's really lacking in armor, and I do love armor in Armor Evolution, I've really grown on Alomon. Yeah, it gets an A. And then next is Baromon, which is Patamon with the Digi-Egg of Courage. I just don't like this, man. I get that it is like a guardian deity that like guards a temple or whatever, so I get the kind of holy stuff from Patamon there, mixed with the Digi-Egg of Courage. It just looks like a dude in a mask, man. A lot of its lore is really fun. It can see into the future. It survived the collapse of the digital world and stuff, but the design is just so mid. And again, for Patamon, this? No. You lose. Good day, sir. C. D. Fuck you. Fuck you. No, you know what? F. Fuck off. Don't like you. Fail. A lot more passionate about that than I thought I was. Next up is Flowizardmon, which is potentially Wormmon or Tentamon and Wizardmon with the Digi-Egg of Courage. I like this a lot. I think as a Tentamon Digi-Egg of Courage evolution, it works particularly well. The knowledge of Izzy and the kind of innate knowledge of Tentamon mixing with Ancient Fire, becoming this Ancient Fire Wizard. Obviously for Wizardmon, Wizard plus Fire equals Fire Wizard. It doesn't work great for Wormmon, but there's a better, more canon evolution for Wormmon in a little bit, so that's fine. I really can't find much fault with Flowizardmon. Again, for Tentamon in particular, I really like it. It gets clothes, not armor, sure, but the overall design is a lot better. It's an A tier. It's probably like there for me. Yeah. Alright, then we have Boarmon. You know, it looks like Armadillomon, kind of. It's on all fours. It gets the fire. My main thing that I don't like about Boarmon is that it has less armor than Armadillomon. It's an armor evolution with less armor. If they only get a little bit of armor or some clothes, I'm less mad about it. But you've got an armor Digivolution with less armor than the rookie. I'm sorry. Great design, bad armor Digivolution. It goes as a B. If I was ranking it as its own, it would be higher, but as an armor evolution, that's a B for Boarmon. Alright, let's skip over Flamedramon for now, and we will go to Lynxmon. Lynxmon is Gatomon and Gatomon X with the Digi-Egg of Courage, and honestly, I kind of like this. Now, yes, it isn't armored, but it is completely engulfed in flame, so who knows if there's armor under there, or maybe the flame is the armor. I think it works coming from Gatomon, tying into kind of like Nefertimon and Holydramon specifically. It's a really solid design. I think it really obviously works the Digi-Egg of Courage evolution. There's really not that much wrong with it. It's a high A. It's higher than Alomon. It goes right up there with Flame Wizardmon for me, honestly. Digi-Egg of Courage does pretty well. And then we have Salamandermon, which is Tumon or Tentamon with the Digi-Egg of Courage, and it's fine. I think for Tumon and Tentamon, the kind of skittish mouse, the bug, it works okay. It's got all the same things I said about Lynxmon, it just looks a bit shitter. But it's fine. It's a B with Greymon, you know. It's higher than Bottomon and Boarmon. It's fine. Next up is Flamedramon, and wow, Davis does really well for Armor Digivolutions. Flamedramon, Raydramon, Magnamon, plus all of the side ones we'll talk about in other videos. Flamedramon is one of my favorite Armor Digivolutions of all time. It's not my favorite, and it's not my favorite one of Davis, but it has some fierce competition. I love Raydramon and Magnamon, but it is so solid, dude. Like, absolutely iconic. Obviously, like, the key Courage evolution for Veemon, because it's literally emblazoned with the Digi-Egg of Courage. I think you would struggle to say that there is any better representation of the Digi-Egg of Courage on this list, because it's literally wearing the Digi-Egg of Courage. Yeah, it's an S tier. It's a low S, but it's S tier. It's amazing. And then speaking of amazing, we have Shadramon, and holy crap, every time I have slammed Wormmon's kindness armor evolution, Buchimon, Shadramon makes up for it. A perfect Digi-Egg of Courage evolution. You can see the Digi-Egg there. You can see Wormmon underneath it, which is phenomenal. It also looks a bit like Stingmon. One of the key things I love is the armor on top and seeing the rookie pointing through. This feels super intentional and not kind of like retrofitted or just kind of liberally applied. This feels so laser focused on Wormmon and the Digi-Egg of Courage. Courage. It is an amazing match to Flamedramon. You get butterfly wings made of fire. Like, what's more to love? It's an S tier, bro. It's an S tier. I love it. Veemon getting some good armors. We love to see it. Chef's kiss. All right, and let's wrap this hoe up with the DLC, the bonus content, and that is the rest of Veemon's evolutions. Veemon, who of course, as I said, was unsealed from the Crest of Courage. He's one of my favorite rookies of all time. I love him more than Agumon. I own hardly any plushes, but I own him and Veemon. I adore Veemon. He was for a while probably my favorite rookie before I kind of grew and matured and sort of fell into loving Veemon. I really can't fault Veemon. There's not much more to say other than that he is fantastic. The sort of emblem rookie of my favorite season. S tier, boy. Yes, I'm biased, but that's why it's my personal ranking. Veemon I love. I've really grown to appreciate Veedramon, but specifically the Zero Maru Veedramon. So I don't know if I prefer Veemon anymore, but it's a solid design. I love the wings, the horn. My only real gripe is that I wish we'd seen a full through line for it that wasn't based on the Jogress, but by itself, it's decent and it's a nice evolution for Veemon. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in A. It goes above Agumon for sure. I love you, Veemon. Then we have got Paildramon, one of my favorite Jogresses of all time. Absolutely fantastic. The perfect combination, I think, of Veemon and Stingmon. Not much else to say. S tier. I'm not ranking Dynabeemon on this list because it really isn't in the show and is only ever really used as like Ken's evolutions inside media and stuff. But if I were, it would probably go at like A. Then we have Imperialdramon Dragon Mode, which is really good. And if we're talking about Crest of Courage evolutions tied to Davis, it's kind of a slam dunk. Works way better, I think, these two Imperialdramon Dragon Mode and Fighter Mode as Veemon evolutions. You do lose a bit of the Stingmon, especially in Fighter Mode, but Dragon Mode is super solid. I don't think I love it as much as Paildramon because again, it just does feel like a little bit of like a but still really solid. One of my favorite Jogress evolutions, that's an A. And basically the same for Fighter Mode. I think I prefer Fighter Mode to Dragon Mode a little bit. Again, feels super much more like an Veemon evolution. You can barely see the Stingmon there. As I've said before, it looks like Veemon wearing Alphamon armor, and once you see that, it's really hard to unsee. But as part of Davis's partner's evolution line tying into the Crest of Courage and admittedly Friendship, it is super solid. Just a little bit better than Imperialdramon Dragon Mode for me. It goes at A. I'm actually gonna put it like that. Honestly, I think that's how I'd have it. And then finally is Paladin Mode, and kind of every criticism I have of Merciful Mode applies here. It's fine, but I just wish I'd seen something different for this. Omnimon lending its energy to Imperialdramon Fighter Mode, that's awesome. Oh, it just turns white and gets a big sword. Like, it's fine. I don't hate it. It's as good as Imperialdramon, just a little bit more boring looking. And again, I like its moment in Revenge of Diaboromon, but I just wish it was something different. I don't know what I wish it was. Imperialdramon with the Wargreymon and Metal Garurumon arms or something. I don't know, man. It gets a low A, man. It's fine. You know, it's okay. It's all right. Anyway, that's my list. Dear past Karn, I grow weary of your memory. You forgot to rank Chicomon and Demi-Veemon. They are both A tier, you fucking moron. All my love, future Karn. Kiss, kiss. So I think if you've watched me for a while now, there's not going to be anything too surprising there. Maybe you might be a bit shocked by Greymon or Merciful Mode or something, but I'm pretty consistent. I love me some armor evolutions, but I want them to be good, and I love Zero too. But I definitely do love a lot of this original Adventure stuff and the Adventure 2020 stuff, or I guess it was VPET stuff, but it's now Adventure 2020 stuff. But yeah, that's my list. I have put this tier maker in the description of this video, so please do it yourself. Tell me what you ranked things on Twitter at Karn_EX, or if you can't be bothered actually doing it, just tell me your favorites in the comments down below. Once again, please do check out our sponsor Buyee, and if you've made it this far, please do subscribe. We've got like 1,000 subs to go until 20k now. I can't wait to get there, and I'm going to do some really cool things to say thank you when we get there. So thank you so much for supporting the channel. It means a lot that you watch me do silly things like rank Digimon. Let's thank some channel members. The phenomenal Digidestined, including recent upgrade Reese Williams. Thank you, Reese, from going from Tamer to Digidestined. It means so much. Thank you for supporting the channel. NQG D420, Triple D, Night 12, Andrew Sobel, Sad Uncle Callum, Crimson Dragon Slayer, and Anthony Bontomasi. Thank you so much, Digidestined. And the Tamers: Mew Will, The Blessed Rain, Errant Harpy, Emily, John Hawkins, Mike McNulty, and Theo Navarro. And to everyone in the Karn Club, thank you for signing up to become a member of this channel, supporting the channel directly with your hard-earned money. In return, I hope I'm giving you the early access and content that you're looking for, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.